Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 133, May 22nd, 2019. I am Clyde, and today I am joined by Matthew Ross.
Hi, Clyde.
Jimmy Trammell.
Long live the king.
And with a very blurry background, Michael Aston.
Hello, everybody.
How you guys doing?
You know.
It's just one of those weeks, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, it over the last week, it feels like I have gotten nothing accomplished.
Yeah, you're moving.
I've been going nonstop and every day, and I feel like I've gotten nothing accomplished.
You're moving, and moving is the one thing in life that causes nothing but pure tiredness. I mean, you could move like for 10 minutes, and then you're already exhausted. Because it's the worst thing ever, and it has to do with cleaning and packing, the moving process. Then you have to unpack, figure out where things go. It's a never-ending process. How do I know? I'm still unpacking.
Hey, I actually unpacked a box yesterday that I packed at least 10 years ago. It was like when I moved in 2006, it got shoved in a closet, and then when I moved again, like 8 years later,
Right.
And then now I'm like, okay, I need to unpack this box.
Well, I'm just thinking the fact that right here in the corner of this room, I have two or three boxes that are overflowing with stuff that I totally moved in here with the intention of doing something with them, and I haven't touched them, and it's been almost a year, which is insane.
Yeah, put it in a closet, and then you can. I call them time capsules.
Oh.
Because like 20 years later, when you finally actually open it, you go, "Damn it! I've been looking for that."
For me, I have a garage with a room in it, and I have a lot of these boxes pushed to the top of that thing, and so there are stuff pushed into the back corner, which I don't expect to see for a decade. So. We'll see. It'll be a while.
I have faith in you.
Although I've already had to dig stuff out because Christmas stuff was up there, and
you will find out that the things that are important will stay accessible, and
yeah,
it's the ones that end up at the bottom that you'll never go into because they're at the bottom, and you don't really know what's in there. So.
Moving is the worst unless you are somebody who doesn't like to hold on to things for whatever reason. So,
yeah, I'm pretty sure. I've got 5 more years here in Minnesota, and I will be here for those 5 years. And there's a good chance that when I leave, if I leave, I'm just gonna walk away.
Whatever fits inside the vehicle, great. After that, you're done.
All right. Well, hey, why don't we get into it?
Sure.
What do we got to talk about this week?
News this week. We have a story from Valve. Valve has been doing their Streamlink utility where they allow you to...
You mean the thing that they keep selling and then discontinuing? There's been at least like 3 versions of Streamlink.
That would be the Stream Box, right?
Well, there was the Streamlink. It was...
Oh, that's true.
It was... they clearanced it like 2 years ago at like... on Black Friday.
Right, but also the software called Streamlink. The software called Streamlink is what we're talking about today, and they finally released a version of that software available for the iPhone, iPad, and for Apple TV. So you will be able to connect your phone, your iOS device, up to your local network and stream your video games on your Steam library to your device and enjoy it. Also, am I correct that you figured out a way of making this work remotely yet, or is that still something that they're trying to do?
Yeah, so it does work remotely, but it is, to be clear, it's running on your computer. So it's streaming from your PC, where it's running to the device, and it does appear to work remotely.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I mean, it's the it's the same
beta
name too, which is like I said, they've had like 3 versions of the Steam Link, and so is this one? I guess somebody's got to bring gaming to Apple, since Apple doesn't seem too interested.
Yeah, well, the gaming the gaming on an Apple device is. Actually, it's very popular. You can do that a lot. It's just usually it's not the really high-end games. There's maybe a couple, but the Steam library being streamed to your device. This is the same thing as what we've seen with older programs like Parsec, and I really liked Parsec. And we're going to be seeing similar technologies from Google Stadia, but instead of renting some type of service somewhere, you're using it in-house. So. It's good stuff. This is a good idea, and Steam's been Steam. I bet you is going to be doing a really good job at this. So we'll see.
Okay, so as not too much of a gamer, how well do these games perform? I've always wondered that.
Amazingly, you would almost as if you were there right next to your computer. It is pretty much that good. The latency is pretty much gone, and the quality, as long as you have decent connectivity to your Wi-Fi on a device like that,
as long as you've got a good network with and that's the thing that a lot of people will overlook is the network component. So if your network has decent throughput through the data plane, then speed latency is not really a thing to be concerned about anymore.
So obviously you need to try this out, Jimmy. You've got your iPhone device. You have a Steam account?
I don't, but maybe I'll go sign up and give it a shot, because I always wondered how it
Lucky
performed.
for you, the price is very, very agreeable.
But do you have a viable PC?
That's true.
Game on, right? So you have to. So again, this is running the game on your PC and streaming it to devices either in the home or remotely. And to be clear, the remote functionality is beta testing, right? So it's still in beta, but you will be able to run if you do the beta test, which it doesn't look like it's a closed beta, so anybody should be able to do it. It's just they aren't guaranteeing that it'll work right or work well.
Right.
That being said, you have an iMac. The iMac, I think, might have a decent video card in it.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean, my iMac, I think it's the 2015 model. It's got 4 gig of video memory, I believe, something like that.
So it might have a real ATI card in it. So
yeah, it's an AMD. It's got an AMD GPU in it.
Give this guy a copy of Rocket League. Oh, wait a second. They're moving that to the other store, so never mind. All right. Google is celebrating what basically is Accessibility Week, or Accessibility Awareness Day. And what they are doing is, first of all, we're bringing up the wrong story. And and they are showing off some videos that they've created about how you can use the assistant in a way that helps people who need the accessibility features. No new features are being shown in these videos, but the gentleman who's showing off the video is the first guy in the introductory. He's blind, and he's able to give you some ideas of what kind of things that the Google Assistant can do for you. So if you're curious what this kind of new technology can do for somebody who has those kind of special needs, this might be interesting for you to check out.
Yeah. And there it is.
Yeah, there it is. That gentleman there, he's in a wheelchair. I wonder how Google Assistant can help him. Here, let me get the door for you. Oh, no, I can't do that.
Well, I'm sure
Sorry,
you
Dave.
figure out a way to make that work if you wanted to.
I don't know. I'm certain there are things that it can do to help, like turning on the lights and turning off the lights, obviously, is one. That's a feature I use every single day, because turning on and off the lights in my bedroom when I'm getting up, it's right all the way across the room. It's so much nicer to yell at Google to do it.
Yes, so I agree. I like the features that come kind of out of the box and built in. I have some lights that are set to my Amazon Echo and stuff like that. Though I will say, there is definitely a lot of functionality that can be added from a hacker mentality. We picked up a kit of little bits, or I think that's what they're called, and they include things like lights, buzzers, a little servo, and things like that. And you can use if this then that combined with Amazon Echo, and then you can have your Echo trigger the servo. Like, and what we did was we had it raise a flag whenever food got on our food table at our work. And so there's all kinds of neat little things that you can do. So while that's not what they're talking about here, these were kind of more traditionally built-in functions and features of the Google Assistant. That's really excellent. But there's also, if you have a hacker mindset, there's an amazing amount of stuff that you can do to automate. You could put servos on doors and have doors open automatically for you and things like that. So it'd be cool.
Yeah, it's nice that they have even, making a video that describes this stuff and making it easy for you to understand. But that takes a lot of talent too, and to do it that right. And so it's all good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
So Bose has promised that they have a line of their own smart speakers, and they've already, when they introduced them, it came out with the Alexa system available on them. They promised that they would also be coming out with Google in the future, and the future is now. You can now get to use the Google Assistant with your Bose system. This is yet another one of those, hey, we started with the easy one. Apparently it's really easy to put Alexa on your device, and now we're putting on Google Assistant because Google apparently has a little bit more work you need to do in order to make it qualify. So they've got all kinds of different sound bars that they are getting to support, and their smart speakers. But being Bose, be ready to pay a pretty penny for a little speaker that sounds a little bit bigger than it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clyde, what do you think about Bose speakers? Do you like them?
They're good. I don't ever have the desire to get them because of the price tag.
Right.
It's so they sound good, but they don't sound that good to me. A lot of people, they're like Nike or a lot of these things where they're just as good as the other thing, but people are buying the name, and they're buying more for the status of, I have the Bose headphones, or like Beats,
Right. I have a gentleman I used to work with, and he was a sound geek too. And so I said, "Oh, Bose, what do you think of Bose?" He said, "Bose, no highs, no lows. Bose."
Yeah. I actually recently picked up a pair of Bose computer speakers for work, because I wanted to be able to listen to music and have it sound pretty good, but I didn't want something that had like a sub or anything, because it's at work. And I've been happy with them. I am, they don't have as good a sound as my $60 Sennheiser headphones, or a good set of speakers. They cost about $100. And so they were kind of in that sweet spot of being good quality sound, but not being too expensive. So I could have gotten some really good, bookshelf speakers and had it sound great, some studio monitors. And they would have sounded better, but they would have come in the 250 range to get something decent in that. So yeah, I mean they have a place. I think their headphones are vastly overpriced, but their speakers, I think they have some good speakers that are reasonably priced. I was tempted to go with the Sonos, but I wouldn't have been able to use them really because I couldn't hook them up to the Wi-Fi at my work and stuff because, I'm at work.
Oh, you
Well-
just need to make friends with the network guy. I hook
Well-
stuff up to our Wi-Fi all the time.
I'm in charge of security though, so I would be kind of hypocritical to
No,
have a policy that says, yeah, I don't do these unauthorized devices, but my devices are authorized.
that's exactly how it works. That's the whole reason you take those positions.
And
You,
I'll
you
speak
think
to
the finance guy he deals with money all day because he likes it? No, because whatever's left over, he gets to take home.
That's not how that works.
and,
You tell
Fine.
him. Tell him that.
I don't know what kind of guy you got working there, but that's not how that works. Just saying.
but I will say to the Bose quality. I mean, I don't know if I'm all that great of a sound guy, right? But my home theater system is Bose, and I bought those back in 2004 is when I bought them. And I think that if I remember correctly, I think the price, and it's like the left and right, and then it's got a center speaker, the two satellite speakers in the back, and then I got the big subwoofer in the floor, right? And back in 2004, it was $1,000 for that set of speakers, which was a pretty big price back then.
Yeah, that's
maybe
like $30,000 now.
Yeah, probably. But anyway, so I bought these things, like 15 years ago, and yeah, they're still going strong. They're still the ones that I use, and they've lasted, all those years. The sound quality, I think, is good. I don't know if I would say they're the best. Probably not. Maybe at the time they were up there kind of high. Compare it to anything today, probably not, right? But they, for a home, theater system, I think they're really good, right? At least that's my experience with Bose. Right?
I believe that the phrase "no highs, no lows" Bose came from an era of Bose speakers that were like from the 80s. So I'm certain they're a lot better than that used to be. So
I get the perspective. Like the headset, the speakers, the computer speakers that I have, they do not have in my opinion, a good range of sound. That's why I said like my $60 Sennheiser headphones sound significantly better than the $100 Bose speakers that I have, and it's because they have a much richer soundstage. It's broader.
But that's also when it comes to Bose, you get what you pay for. So
True.
$100 Bose
It's
is
bottom of the barrel.
like not even really Bose. It's somebody slapped
with the label,
white label, slapped the Bose name on it. $100 Bose versus $1,000 Bose. They're completely
Sure.
different animals, but like, and that comes back to like what I was saying is, sure, they can sound great, but the price tag, that just to have that name isn't worth it for me.
Well, I mean, to be clear, right? And that's why I'm comparing it to the $60 Sennheiser headphones, because that's their kind of lowest end headphones. Sennheiser also has $1,000 plus headphones as well. So it's the same level of item, and you get better quality out of. And say I would say the same thing about your $150 Bose Quiet Comfort or your $200 Bose Quiet Comfort. They do not have as good a soundstage as the $60 Sennheiser headphones. So, sound quality is good. I like the way they sound. It's not outstanding, and it's not worth the premium you pay for the product, in my opinion.
I'd be interested in listening to the soundbar, this Sonos competitor. So. Yeah.
Well, if you want a competitor, we've got a new one coming out for you right now. Vizio has announced their new 2019 and released their 2019 TV lineup of 4K TVs. They start out with their Quantum X series, which are the P series, excuse me, that has Quantum X in it, which is one of their high-end LCDs, which have a really really good black levels that rivals OLEDs. They start as high as $3,500. But they go down to different series from the P series to like I'm trying to see here, the M series, the more budget series, and all the way down to the V series, which is the really value series, which means you can get yourself a 65-inch V series for $450. Yeah. I mean, so they're covering the entire range from higher end with great blacks and 3,000 nits to, hey, I need a TV and I've only got $300 to spend.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here's the thing: these are all coming with the Vizio casting solution, where they have a Chromecast built in and is able to play many of those different streaming utilities. But they also are going to be coming out this summer with native AirPlay 2 and HomeKit support. So it's going to be pretty well covering all the bases there for you.
So what you're seeing is Vizio's realignment, because go back about 10 years, Vizio was the brand that if you needed a cheap TV, you could get a Vizio and comfortably just buy a Vizio. You know, they had really high-end stuff, but they had the lower. But over the last 5 to 6 years, they've been significantly getting undercut by Hisense, TCL, you know, and so this is them saying, kind of biting the bullet and matching, because the 65-inch 4K TCL, it's the 4 series that I've been looking at, is right around $500.
That's pretty impressive.
Which is a great price for a 65-inch TV. It's the 4 series, so it's their basic lowest. But, dude, 65-inch TV when you're sitting like less than 10 feet away from it,
it's almost too big.
It's going to look fine.
I mean, it is impressive to see the 3,000 nits on the higher end model there. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And Vizio, I mean, they have been producing the P series for a number of years, so this isn't a new flagship product for them. They've been, I mean, this specific TV, but they've been running the P series line for quite a while, and they have been outstanding TVs. Like, they produce a top-notch, high-end TV. You just have to pay a reasonable price for the quality that you get. And I think these prices, just like everything that Vizio does, is a very competitive price for the quality that you're getting. $3,500 for a 75-inch TV of that quality is a good price. So, I think they continue to produce quality TVs at reasonable prices.
Mm-hmm.
Very much. So this was a Saturday or Sunday. There was a show on. Apparently, everybody likes to watch. I don't really watch it. It's called Game of Thrones. Anybody hear that?
No spoilers, or I turn off the show right now.
Wait.
You're not outside of the 2-week no spoiler.
Yeah, that doesn't exist.
Is it actually 2 weeks, or
No.
is that just common courtesy?
That's a Strife thing.
It's okay. We're not talking about the show, whatever happens. All I know is
I haven't seen the last episode yet. It's still working on making it happen.
It's okay. It's no big deal. It's not a big deal. Nobody really cares anymore, apparently. So the big news here is that this was a big event that there's a large portion of people in the United States went to watch at about the same time, and it's basically one of the very last kind of water cooler style shows that may be on television for the foreseeable future. This may be one of the last shows which people had to wait for each episode to be released, and by the time it was all done, everybody's going to be getting together to talk about this epic ending of whatever the epic ending is of the show.
You know, they said the same thing when Twin Peaks went off the air.
So,
They said the same thing when Twin Peaks went off the air.
So,
They said the same thing when Twin Peaks went off the air. in like 1992, and then
Right, but
also when Lost like went off the rails.
But there's the reason they're thinking of that this time is because this is the last one of the really big shows before everything is now streaming, where you can watch it whenever you want instead of having to make sure you sit down the time for it when it actually happens. And a lot more of the streaming shows out there are binge shows where they will just literally release the whole entire season and you can watch at your leisure and finish whenever you want. So
I don't think that's actually the case. I know it sounds good and it makes for a great story, but HBO, I mean, they've previewed some of the new stuff that they're coming, and HBO is still a TV station.
Right.
They still do day and date. They have a ton of stuff coming, like what's that? His Dark Materials, which is the Golden Compass stuff. They just showed a preview for that. And it looks like it's gonna try and fill the Game of Thrones void. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff coming. It's a matter of it has to be good.
right.
There are
And-
still going to be TV stations. There's somebody will have another show that's on a day and date basis that will fill this. It may be 1 year, it may be 10 years, but yeah, the saying it's the last, that's a little out there.
It's fair to say that that's not actually what's happening, but it feels like that this is one of the last of the premium channels that do this kind of thing. Now, I know it's not,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
do you think there will be because there's even rumor of how Time Warner is moving with HBO and what they're going to do with it, that they might be moving with more of a bingeable system as well. So do you think this is going to be the way of the future? Do you think people are going to be coming back in my day, we had to sit down and watch the show and every week, and it's going to be something that's just something that isn't around anymore?
I think there's a couple of things that are worth mentioning. I think in regards to this, first of all, I honestly tried to see the final episode the night that it came out. Like I put an effort into making that happen, and that's the first TV show that I have tried to watch at airtime in probably years that wasn't a football game. And even then I usually tried to watch it several hours delayed. So that's worth considering. And the fact that every single Monday for the last 2 or 3 years, I would go to work and put headphones on for the first half of the day because I knew everybody around me was going to be talking about Game of Thrones and I didn't want to hear it. So this definitely is a show that has had more viewing parties and more community-based involvement than most of what we've seen. But to say that this is the last is ridiculous in many respects, because this is one of the few that's had this happen ever, right? Like this was an unprecedented level. And there's only been a few shows, those other shows that Clyde mentioned are those kinds of shows that occasionally you get that become such a part of the zeitgeist that people do care about having that kind of thing happen. So, and the question is, will this be the last? Absolutely, unquestionably not.
Okay.
But
raise your hand if everybody who here remembers the summer where everybody kept asking that question. Who shot JR? You remember? Who shot JR? That was the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas was one of those shows.
My brother.
Everybody watched.
I was in the Army.
Don't shoot my brother. Also, when was that? Was I more than 4 years
was
old?
That 88, I think.
No,
87.
No, that was 84. I think.
Oh,
it was
even sooner. Okay,
I was
so
5 years old.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember.
I remember.
I think it was 84. Might have been 85,
but that's my point.
But it was somewhere right along
there. There is every once in a while there is a show that captures. It's what I guess you would call it a touchstone, right? Where it has such massive appeal that it appeals to everybody to large swath of people across demographics, across social groups. And that's every once in a while.
Yeah, Seinfeld was kind of like that. The last episode of Seinfeld.
Yeah, everybody tuned in to watch that.
Yep.
And then everybody said, seriously?
So the episode of apparently, according to the Who Shot JR search on Wikipedia, the episode was aired on November 21st, 1980.
Oh, wow.
Oh, 80.
So-
Okay.
So I was not even 2 years old.
Yeah. What month was it?
November.
Yeah, I was in the Army.
Oh yeah.
I
Now
remember.
I know what you're talking about.
I remember the bumper
I
stickers.
just realized what you were talking about.
Well,
But obviously, I was too young to. I was like 3, right? So I wouldn't have been watching.
Right. Not unless your parents were those kind of parents that stuck you in front of the TV and you asked, "Who shot JR?"
Well,
my parents would go to bed and just leave me in the living room,
Oh,
and then I'd pass out when I passed out.
now that explains a lot. With
It
Clive,
does.
Just so you know. It does.
You
It really does.
yeah. I mean, even if they were the kind of people that stuck me in front of the TV at 3, they weren't sticking me in front of Dallas, right?
All right, so Lionsgate has their online streaming solution and premium channel called Stars, and apparently CBS was really interested in buying it. So they offered about 2 months ago a $5 billion offer for the streaming service of Stars. At which point, it seems like they've decided to not go with them. Stars will continue to be their rival to HBO and Showtime. So, excuse me. And so maybe if this is the beginning of more people maybe offering money for them. But as of right now, nothing is happening with CBS and Stars.
Yeah, see, and like if you read through the story, Lionsgate agreed that Stars would be a good fit for CBS. They just didn't like the $5 billion. They thought it's worth a lot more than that.
Probably is.
Maybe. I mean, how many people, or how many of you subscribe to Stars? I was a subscriber to Stars until they canceled the 2 shows that I watched. Now I'm not a subscriber to Stars. When the next season of American Gods comes back, maybe. So I'm a couple months here and there.
Right, that's fine. That they've got your money. That's fine. They just don't get it all the time. They just get it when they have your show. They're perfectly happy taking your money.
Yeah, but I don't know very many people that actually subscribe to Stars.
It didn't have the
It had the Ash versus Evil Dead.
right.
It had which they canceled. It had what was the one with the split world counterpart?
Counterpart. Did they counter?
Which
Did
they canceled. They ended it a couple months ago. It was the
Outlander.
last. Yeah, the only one I ever hear talk about that show is Tom Merritt.
and me
Oh wait, you watched that?
with my wife? She loves it.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, the only Stars show I ever watched was, and I didn't watch it on Stars. I watched it on Netflix. Was Spartacus.
Oh, and I mean to make it add insult to injury, season 3, the final season of Ash versus Evil Dead, they didn't even. It's not even available on Stars. You have to go to Netflix to watch it.
All right.
Which was like the final nail in the coffin when I said no, I'm keeping my money.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because CBS owns Showtime, right?
Actually, I don't know if
I
who owns
think they
Showtime.
do. So, I mean, it would be good for CBS to have something else. But yeah, if they really want it, they'll cough up some more money or figure out a way to sweeten the deal.
Very cool. All right, looks like Mozilla is looking to make VR easier for everyone. Mozilla is introducing a new project called Reach. It is a VR platform that they are making that allows you to easily create virtual worlds that it will be available both on the web and with virtual headsets. So as a kind of a universal platform, it's trying to be a simple, easy to use API, kind of a easy way to get into VR without having to get too deep into the subject. So, and also this stuff will be available to be streamed over the web and should be supported by Firefox. And knowing how that works, that means it'll probably be supported by Chrome too.
Yeah. I think this is cool. I don't know. It's one of those things where the concept is great. I can't really envision how I would use it.
Right.
But there are lots of things like the TiVo. I couldn't figure out how I would ever need that, and it ended up being the thing that changed my life. So, yeah, I look forward to this. Mozilla Firefox is my browser of choice.
So it looks like Reach is something that's really easy for you to take your data from your textures and your volumetric data, three-dimensional data, and some models, upload it to the service, and within a couple minutes, you've got a playable solution which you can share with the world. So remember HTMVR or whatever it was when they were first trying to do some 3D stuff on the web. This is the same thing, but also having the support for the stereoscopic glasses. So it's good stuff.
Cool.
I'm sure they'll make hundreds of dollars.
Well, being Mozilla,
It's free.
they don't get
They won't make anything.
It's not going to make any money at all. So. Last story is, hey, you guys, Stranger Things is coming out, and it's coming out this time in a late 80s. It's a new time frame, and because it's coming out in that certain time frame, New Coke is coming back. It's new Coke. So you will be able to buy Coca-Cola Classic, and be able to buy New Coke as it's coming back for you to drink.
Okay. See, and this is the thing. This is one thing that always drove me crazy. It wasn't called New Coke. People called it New Coke because it said "new" on the can.
Right, it's Coke.
It was Coke.
New.
It was Coke because regular is Coca-Cola.
Right.
This formula was Coke, and I actually really liked it.
So then you better stock up.
I'm actually kind of excited for this. Kind of like when Pepsi brought back the no corn syrup, just sugar version, and it was yes. But
are you saying that the Clyde curse also applies to soda?
No, because I didn't get to drink very much of that. I
But he
was
liked it.
in elementary school. I
You
just
liked
remember that it was
went
okay.
away.
But I mean, Coke, New Coke was always a ploy anyway. It was a distraction. It was never meant to be an actual replacement, because that was how they transitioned everybody off of sugar to corn syrup, because Coca-Cola had sugar in it. No, I mean, look at the timeline.
I know.
Coca-Cola was made with sugar. Sugar was at that point becoming very expensive, and everybody was looking to go to corn syrup as an alternative because it was cheap. But the problem is they taste different. They have distinct taste. So what they did was they did their New Coke, which was sweeter, which was more Pepsi-like. That was also in the big cola war, Pepsi versus Coke. So then they used it long enough that when they said, okay, we'll bring back the Coca-Cola Classic, the one that you always liked, but when it came back, it had corn syrup.
Mm.
And
So
it had
I-
been long enough that people didn't notice the difference. They were just happy to have it back.
And so I don't know if I subscribe to this conspiracy theory, but okay. But here's how it was explained to me: is that Coca-Cola and Pepsi, Pepsi did the Pepsi challenge
Mhm.
where you blind taste tested the two Cokes, the two drinks, and almost everybody liked the sweeter Pepsi better because it was sweeter. If you try one and then the other, you're almost always going to say, "Ooh, I like the sweeter one better." So they invented new Coke in order to try to outsweet Pepsi, and it was actually bad. So it's like not a good idea. Now I don't know if when they then reintroduced Coca-Cola Classic and if they did change it over to corn syrup.
that was
I believe
exactly
you.
when they did.
I believe you that's what that did happen sometime, and probably even then. I just don't know if the whole idea of this was to get to that point, but. You can still get Coke with real sugar. You buy one of the bottles that are made in Mexico, and they're delicious.
Exactly. And that's why everybody's always loved Mexican Coke, because it was still real.
I think this is interesting how they're piggybacking off of the popularity of this 80s-esque show, 80s-based show, and I think it's great. Stranger Things, I really enjoyed both seasons, and a lot of nostalgia, so, I might try New Coke just because of that. I'm interested to see the level of integration that they have into the show itself. Obviously, they're utilizing the show to market this product and bring it back for that reason, but I wonder how much integration it will have in the show. Like, will they see the commercial? Will they be drinking New Coke? Will they be commenting about it? I'm kind of wanting to watch the show just to find out that, even though I was going to watch it anyways.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I will say Pepsi brought back something. PepsiCo brought back something from 1990 that
Pepsi Clear.
no. Oh, actually, they did that.
They did bring that.
That was 2 years ago.
You can still get it.
Jumpin' Jack Cheese Doritos from 1990. They only sold them for like a few months. And I remember it was 1990 because I was in 6th grade. We were going to Six Flags Magic Mountain. I bought a bag of chips to eat on the bus while we drove. And it was those. They had just come out, and then I never saw them again.
Oh.
And I saw these, and I freaked out the other day. So I bought a couple bags, and they're just like what I remember. So
Good for you.
yeah,
Yeah. So
nostalgia.
I can't wait till Stranger Things get into the early to late 80s, early 90s, and so they will introduce Pepsi Clear for us.
You know what
again.
else they're gonna bring back?
So what else?
Neon parachute pants and fanny packs.
Well, absolutely the fanny packs, but the neon parachute pants, you got to wait until MC Hammer for that. So
Well, that was 1991.
yeah, exactly.
That's
It was
what I'm
early
saying. When you're talking 90s,
Right.
That
right.
would be 19. But that's 89 to 92 is when the neon colors started.
Yeah.
Bring back Hypercolor. I wouldn't mind a Hypercolor T-shirt. That was the one where it changed colors with your body heat.
Oh.
You put your hand on the shirt and leave a handprint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
I
you
can barely
lift up
remember
your arms and it's like different colors because.
Ew.
Yeah,
Ew.
look up
Ew.
Hypercolor.
Oh God.
Yes, Max Trobot said it. Also Hypercolor. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the stories for the week, guys.
All right. Well, that brings us to my favorite point of the show, where we like to thank all of you amazing people that help make sure that this happens every week, that you help us fight the apathy and the lethargy that I was talking about before the show monetarily. And yes, I am talking about our amazing patrons, the people that have gone above and beyond to support us. We don't even ask you to do it. We like doing the show. We're here free every week. It'll always be free every week. But, if you find value in the show and, want to throw us a buck, even just $1 a month, we'll take it. Gladly. And we will thank you.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much. And you can go ahead if you feel like passing a buck our way. You can go to patreon.com/the Squad.
Oh, and
Pantsless.
Al-Anon, we do pantsless episodes almost every week.
Sorry.
See, the only reason I got up to go get those chips on a normal week, I never would have gone to go get those chips.
That's right.
But yeah, no, so patrons, you guys are awesome. We appreciate everything that you do. All right. Should we hop on over to check in with Big Voice Jay?
Please.
Push those buttons.
Welcome to your Movie Draft Minute, presented by DiamondClub.tv for the week of May 20th, 2019. I'm your host, Big Voice Jay, brought to you by Sidewalks, keeping kids off the streets. Let's go to the scoreboard. Team Retro Misery's in last place, with The Dog's Journey bringing in $9.7 million. Team Drunk Kids Gaming is in 5th place with $21.9 million. Team The VOD Squad's in 4th place with $42.9 million. Team Game Night is in 3rd place with $138.1 million. Team Have a Drink is in 2nd place with $727.1 million. And in 1st place, with $69 million from John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum, it's Team Movie Party with $1,074.4 million. That's your Stream Team Movie Draft Minute. All totals are accurate as of May 22nd, 2019.
$1 billion.
We're not even to the summer yet. And yeah.
Yeah. The question is, can you make 1.5?
I'm shooting for 2.
I know.
$2 billion.
I don't think that's realistic, but 1.5, you might be able to make that.
I'm gonna get 600 million out of it. The first.
No, you're not,
dude. I got 600 million out.
So I will. I do want to make a comment that. First of all, holy crap! You got John Wick 3 too. I totally didn't realize that when I went and saw it.
Oh yeah. Was it good?
Finally, Endgame is getting down there into like typical second week numbers.
Yeah, only like 30 million.
It's getting to second week numbers like a month in.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's actually really important though, because I think a lot of other shows that would have done better have been underperforming because all of the money has been going to Avengers Endgame. So it's starting to open up for other movies to start doing well. So the rest of the summer can be normal, where there's a moderately even distribution of money instead of one show that completely dominates the box office for a month and a half.
Yeah, but you know, it was such a, the fact that it's basically the conclusion to like 22 movies is the reason why it did such numbers, and so it was expected to be a huge hit. And I actually, according to how everybody's looking at watching the numbers, it looks like it is slowing down now. Finally, where it's not going to hit the $1 billion people were originally thinking it was going to make. So it might finally be leveling off, and we'll slowly can only a couple million.
It's okay. Nobody can catch me at this point anyway. So
are you kidding me? Watch out! Rocket Man is going to make $1 billion.
Rocket Man will do pretty good, but I'll tell you, Dark Phoenix is going to do better than what you think.
Not as well as you think, unfortunately.
Sansa being possessed by an alien.
I gotta say that I thought so too. However, I got an email yesterday that kind of dashed my hopes all over the floor. My comic shop that has rented a theater for every single comic book movie for the last 2 years is not doing Dark Phoenix. That is not promising. That they don't feel like they've got enough interest from dedicated comic book geeks to bother renting out the theater. I'm a little scared.
because this is going to be like the last of the Fox versions of the mutant story. So in its own way, it's like its own end game. It's the culmination of a bunch of different movies to the one last movie for
Yeah,
Fox.
the problem with X-Men is, while I think X-Men are a wonderful team and really interesting, and I'm a huge X-Men fan and have been for decades since I was a kid. The problem is that the movies have been wildly inconsistent. You know, one will be very good, one will be absolutely awful, but they tend to float right in the middle of just being okay movies. And, you know, there's just not a really compelling thing to go for them. I thought it would do better. I was kind of excited the first trailer that I saw. I saw the second trailer that came out, and I'm a little bit more lukewarm on it now. So yeah,
It's okay. It'll do
Little
okay
concerned.
numbers. It's not going to do crazy numbers, but it's going to do okay. It's going to make
at this
some
point, we only needed to do like 100 million, you know, $1 billion in order for us to catch up.
I still think it's going to go north of 200 million.
It could, and actually, that's not an unreasonable number over a couple of weeks. So, I think it actually could make those numbers. I'd be happy if it made 150. That'd be enough for me.
Yeah.
But we need Rocket Man to perform very well, and we need Yesterday to outperform its own numbers for us to do well. But the thing is, those can happen. Those look like excellent movies as far as the amount of money we put down on them. So
They are, I mean, they're potentially good movies, but they're not box office gold, you know.
But I think Rocket Man's going to actually do really well.
I think they're both kind of niche because you kind of really got to be you know, into Elton John to because it's not a biopic. It's not a biopic like, let's say, the Freddie Mercury one. It's a dramatized. I don't know.
I think you will get the vast majority of Elton John fans, and I think that is a larger audience than you realize.
Yeah. And you do have one thing on your side. The fact that I have absolutely no interest in that movie.
Yes, it's going to make millions of dollars.
Oh, it might make millions. I
Yeah,
just
I know.
don't think it'll make hundreds of millions.
I was going to say we need hundreds at this point. Hundreds of millions.
Yeah, I know. It's
I think Rocket Man will probably do over 100.
Yeah, and Alanon put it good in the chat. He said it's supposed to be pretty good as long as you're looking for an Elton John musical.
right, and you're going to get it. So
He said it looks like it might as well be Almost Famous too. And
Hey,
I did like Almost Famous.
how well did Almost Famous do? So-
Like maybe 100.
Oh, okay.
And I think yesterday, getting close to the 4th of July holiday, I think is going to do well there as well.
Yesterday's going to it's going to make us some money. Pretty certain of that. But I think most of our money is going to come in for Fast and the Furious. I think that is going to outperform easily because it's the only other thing going on. But the couple weekends before is the Lion King. By then it'll have died down and people will want to see a movie in August. And we have all of August and most of September to let that money come in from that movie. So. Because I don't know why they let It Chapter 2 stay all the way till September 6th for us, but hey,
That should have been the first movie of the fall.
Yeah,
But whatever.
that's all right.
I need that movie. I need those bucks. So I mean, this is last summer all over again, where we're waiting many weeks for my final movie when I've already locked it up. But in that case, that movie never came out, and I am still angry about that. Replicas.
Oh yeah, did it ever come out?
No.
I'm checking right now. Apparently it did.
Okay. Went to DVD.
Got a Metascore of 19. That's not good.
Okay. Well, on that note, why don't we get into some rants and raves? And
Hey.
there it is. Okay. Let's make this quick. Who's got gripes? Brags?
I don't have any gripes. I'll
Brags?
just real quick. I've been busy with work, of course, normal every day. I'd really love to put an air conditioner in my room. It's getting nice and hot. But most importantly, we've been busy with getting the house ready for a company to come over. But when we had the chance, my wife and I would lay down at night and we'd watch Miss Maisel season 2. We finally finished season 2, and it didn't take very long because all we did was lay down and go, okay, we'll watch an episode. Damn, that was good. Let's see what happens next. Oh man, we have to watch one more. Okay, I can't stay up any later. We got to go to bed next day. Do you think we could do 3? I don't know. Maybe let's try to do 1 at least. Oh, we got to watch another. Oh, we got to watch. Okay, can't watch anymore. So we were done through that season very fast. And I really enjoyed it. It's very good.
I
hope you
loved everything about their summer camp.
Yes, the Catskills were hilarious. I love the Catskills. And also, Abe, the character Abe, is obviously the second most important character in that whole entire story.
Yeah,
by far.
Well, absolutely. He's the patriarch.
Who is totally. He's so nuts. I love it.
Well, I mean, he's a mathematician, like super genius guy. So therefore, like every super genius math professor guy that I've ever met has always been a little socially awkward with, kind of has their picadillos. Is that the right word?
I think so.
Yeah. And
totally enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's been great. Lots of fun.
And if you haven't watched it, Abe, her father that we're talking about is Tony Shalhoub, which most people know as Monk or as Antonio from Wings. And I absolutely love him. I love him in everything that he does. Dude's hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'll go next. So I finished Game of Thrones last night. I saw the final episode. It was excellent. No spoilers. I'll just say it was a good show.
Wait a second. Excellent. Almost everybody else I've talked to basically said it was the worst thing ever. You don't think it's that bad?
No, I thought it was pretty good. Okay. I thought it was pretty good. But but I mean, I'm a fan of the show, right? Okay. So I mean, it was. It was good. Yeah. I mean, it kind of left some things up in the air, as a lot of shows do when they end, right? But it was a good show. I really enjoyed it. I also finished up Bosch, right? The current season of Bosch. Excellent show. I mean,
I'd say best season so far.
It's right up there. Yeah, it's definitely right up there. I mean, there's a couple other seasons that was equally as good, and I've enjoyed all the seasons of Bosch, right? But this one was especially good, really entertaining. And if you haven't seen that one and you subscribe to Amazon Prime, then just start it up. I mean, you're going to enjoy it, right? So, I highly recommend both those shows.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mike?
I will go. I saw John Wick 3 last night, and I gotta say, it was a really emotionally charging, touching movie. Really got a lot of insights about the world and, about myself watching it. Actually, none of those things. It was fun and action-packed, and I loved watching the gun fu. It was a John Wick movie. If you've seen any of them, you've seen them all, but it's great. I still enjoy watching it. And if you've seen any of them, or if you like kind of like super fast-paced action, then you'll probably enjoy this. I also, at John Wick, I saw the trailer for Calvin and Hobbes.
Yep.
Oh wait, I mean Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh, it was like, wait, what?
Are
Are they doing a live action Calvin and Hobbes?
When I hear that name, And it looks outstanding. I am
know.
like, I normally don't like, I haven't been interested in a Fast and the Furious since the second one. And I'm like, I am definitely going to go see this. It looks awesome. I'm super excited about it.
I'm sorry. It's not going to do great.
You
Why
want to see
not?
it too?
Yo, yeah, absolutely.
It
The only
looks
reason
outstanding.
the only reason I gave up on Fast and Furious is because, you know, I'm able to suspend a lot of disbelief. But when Charlize Theron is such an amazing hacker that she can hack regular cars and make them self-driving out of a dealership, that's when I literally got up and I walked out of the theater.
Hey,
Well-
well, some of those cars are drive-by-wire, so it's possible. Come on.
No. These were just like, yeah, it was like
Not muscle cars.
She destroyed an entire Dodge dealership by making all of the cars and all of the cars on the street too. I'm pretty sure there was like a 1980s Caprice Classic that started driving to block the. Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Well,
Are you saying you're
regardless, I don't know that this will be any less require all that much less suspension of belief.
No.
However,
These
it looks
these
like
are the
it's going to be
characters
a
I
ton
like.
of fun.
Yeah, and
So
yeah, I mean, I like Jason Statham, and I'm okay with The Rock. So, but like I said before, the best thing that they ever did for The Rock's character in the Fast and Furious franchise is take away all of his lines and just let him say, "Yup, okay." That's all he was allowed to say after like 5. And then, yeah. So I will keep it short. Anybody that's got Hulu, you should be watching Catch 22. Especially if you have read the book Catch 22. I can't remember his name. I always thought it was Vonnegut because it's that kind of similar writing
Joseph
style.
Eller.
Yeah. But it wasn't. Yeah, it was just Beller. It was produced or directed by George Clooney. He's in the very beginning, and then what's his face that played House shows up. It's set World War II, Army Air Corps bomber pilots, kind of.
Lord.
Yeah, and check it out. It's sarcastic and just it's been a great watch so far. I've only watched the first episode, and I can't wait to watch more.
Yeah, so I first time I heard about Catch 22, the series, I was like, oh, this is gonna be all serious and it's gonna be depressing. I don't think I want to watch that. And I just saw a little bit of the trailer. It looks hilarious.
Oh no, it and the whole point and the name is very, very
Right.
well deserved because it's all about the bureaucracy of the military, and you know, like the whole point of Catch 22 is that, you know, if a pilot is crazy, the doctor can ground him.
Right.
Because any pilot that is willing to go fly in those circumstances is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But if that pilot comes to the doctor, and that's only if the pilot is willing to be grounded, right? He has to admit that he needs to be grounded. But if the pilot comes to the doctor and does admit that he is crazy, then he can't be grounded because he obviously can't be crazy because he realizes that doing the mission is crazy, which then is proof of sanity. And that there is the Catch 22 is, you know, but you have to be crazy to fly the missions. But if you realize that, then you can't be crazy because you realize that that's crazy. And
so you must be good to go fly the mission.
Yeah. And then you yeah. So, but no, I recommend it. It was, and it's only like, Wabbit said it's only like 4 hours 4.5 hours. So yeah, it's more of a mini series, but check it out.
Very
And,
cool. I'm gonna have to check it out.
yeah, it's got kind of a little bit of the MASH humor, but more not quite as like TV funny as MASH was. Think more like the MASH movie. But
Right.
yeah. Okay. Well, we should go ahead and wrap this thing up. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us this week. If you're watching this after the fact, we are here every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central on Twitch. Thanks for throwing up that reminder. Yeah, and Wabbit has been going through and posting, editing and posting the backlog of YouTube videos, and we are officially up to date.
Yep, I saw that.
So
Awesome.
if there
Holy
are any episodes that you want to relive or that you missed over the last year,
Thank you, Wabbit.
they're there. You can go watch them. Definitely
Rabbit, you rock.
go in and at least thumb them up. If you've got multiple accounts, feel free to thumb those up and hit subscribe. Now that we've got videos on YouTube again, we should probably kind of renew our goal of getting 100 subs, because we need that custom URL. You need 100 subscribers before they will let you have that vanity URL. So if you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, just go there and search for VOD Squad, because there is no vanity URL to make it easy to get there.
We're halfway there, guys.
And Wabbit says there was hail in Salt Lake City this morning. All hail Salt Lake City. Okay. And a reminder to any of you that participate in Movie Party, this Saturday is our May Movie Party. It is May is the celebration of or the anniversary of VE Day, Victory Over Europe. So we will be watching Sky Sharks, which is the movie with zombie Nazis riding flying sharks and taking out airplanes. It's awesome. And we will also be watching FDR American Badass. So if you've never participated in a movie party, go to movieparty.net. This is probably the week that you should participate, especially since Monday's a holiday. You have no excuse. You'll have 2 days to recover. Movieparty.net has all the info, and you can follow us at DC Movie Party on Twitter. If you want to follow the VOD Squad, that is at the VOD Squad on Twitter. We don't really post a lot there, other than we're going live. So I don't know. We
could post more.
We could, if there was demand. Patrons, I'll leave that up to you.
What should we post?
Should there be more Twitter interaction?
And what should we post?
And
if you wanted more,
yeah,
because we could just post pictures of our food, and that wouldn't make a lot of sense.
No, then what would I put on my personal feed?
Yeah, good point. Sorry, don't want to take away from that.
Literally, the last thing I posted was food.
Doritos.
I said, "Welcome back, 1990. Oh, how I've missed you." So, all right. Well, everybody, thank you, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Head on over to the tbs.showbot.tv. Vote for those titles. We're going to the post show.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.